Hey everybody, I hope you're all having a good Monday, at least as far as Mondays go. Before I get started, I have two things. The first thing is next Thursday, February 16th, should be NEA Comedians monthly open mic night hosted at Cregan's in downtown Jonesboro, 9 o'clock that night. The show is absolutely free, so come see it. I'm planning on being on stage. If that changes, because they've not posted this yet, but if that does change, then as soon as I know that, then I'll let you know. But that should be the third Thursday in February, if I have counted correctly. Now, the other thing, this episode is different. This is not the original idea I had. The original idea I had was to take two things and sort of mesh them together. And when I was writing it, it wasn't really meshing. So I kind of split it up. And so this week I'm doing this part of it. And next week I'll probably do the other part of it. And it's not necessarily like two halves to the same whole. It's just that like this is something and that is something. This is very much a work in progress. So bear with me. I did my best. I'll put it that way. I did my best, as I always do. But I hope you like it. And I will probably eventually try to combine them and mesh them properly like I originally meant to do. But for now, they're two separate things. And like I say, I'll probably do the other part next week. I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. It'll kind of depend. But yeah, I hope you like it. Let's start the show.
Hello and welcome to Bathtub Comedy. My name is Bryce Moore and I will be your comedian. There we go. Some of you may remember a long time ago when I first started doing this show. I was in my first couple of months of doing this show. I believe it was Bathtub Comedy number 8, somewhere in there. An episode called Sink Shower, with a really bad flashlight that was awkwardly placed, shall we put it. Anyway, though, the episode was about how I had to take a shower in my sink in the kitchen because my bathtub, the floor was cracked, and people had come in here and fixed it and told me that I couldn't use it, and then they left right after they told me that with no explanation. Yeah. Well, it cracked again. It did. It cracked sometime last year, and I think it was toward the end of the year, but I was on this really busy schedule having to go back and forth between here and home and trying to release stuff for YouTube and TikTok and all that kind of stuff. And so I waited until I was gone for Christmas break to actually report it because I wanted them to come in here and deal with it while I was going to be out of town for my 2 weeks off for Christmas. So that way I wouldn't be trying to record and you hear somebody working on my bathtub while I'm here, you know. That would suck. So I reported this just after I left town, and I never heard anything. They'll usually email me saying that they've looked at it or they've fixed it or they've done something, you know, usually. I never got anything. But the first of the year comes around, I come back in town, and I come in, and I'm going to look just to see what they may have done or may not have done, you know. And I went back there to evaluate, and I found out that they didn't fix it. They didn't do anything at all. No, it was just kind of sitting there all cracked open, you know. No, the guy didn't come by until just a few weeks ago. Oh, the bathtub floor is cracked. Well, I didn't realize that. Oh, my bad. I shouldn't have assumed that you could read. Well, I can fix it, but I can't start till tomorrow. Well, when I got home from work the next afternoon, I walked into the bathroom, and the bathtub looked like this. There was no note, no message, nobody had called me, nobody talked to me, nobody told me what I needed to do, what I couldn't do, nothing. All I knew was that this thing was sitting here in my bathtub, and I had to deal with it. So naturally, I just ignored it. And I was home maybe 15, 20 minutes, and the guy shows back up, and he tells me that he had to let that set up and just let it sit for a while and come back and deal with it. Well, he picks all that stuff up, and he leaves. And he tells me he's going to be back in about 30 to 45 minutes. I was like, okay, cool. And I had to go hang out with Carson and Amy that night, So I was trying to wait for him to come back just to be like, hey, I got to be somewhere. So, whatever. Just trying to have a little bit of courtesy, for somebody that's working on my apartment. Because it's good to be courteous even when other people aren't, trying to be a good person and all that. Well, I'm here for like an hour. Dude never shows up. So I'm like, whatever, bro. I'm out. So I go hang out with Carson and Amy. And we're sitting there. We're reading a movie as we do. And I get an email. Comes through. It says the job is finished. That my maintenance request is completed. And I was like, okay, cool. So I finish up over there and I come back. Still have to take a shower to go to work in the morning. And I assumed, based on the previous time, that it had to sit overnight so that I couldn't use it. So I showered in the sink again, which if you want to know how that goes, just watch Bathtub Comedy Sink Shower. It went about the same way this time around. Anyway, the next afternoon, I was here and I was in the shower. The bathtub looked terrible. Absolutely terrible. But at least it was fixed. So I'm in the shower and I hear a knock at the door. And the guy is back. Well, I just came to finish up your bathtub. Well, I thought you had done that. See, unlike you, sir, I can read. Oh, you done used it? Well, yeah. I mean, that's what you do with a fully working shower, is it not? It turns out the guy just had to sand it. And that didn't take too long. He sanded it and he left and everything was cool. It was fine. I got back in the shower. It was fine. It was fixed. It was great. For a week. 1 week to the day. It cracks again. In the same spot. In the exact same spot. He just sanded it too thin. So effectively, I rented a repair job on this bathtub. And the 7-day trial has expired. That's it for this episode of Bathtub Comedy. Thank you so very much for watching. God bless you, and I will see you again next time.